The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of A Dose of Bolin. And I'm here with my special guest, the original host of A Dose of Landis, TV legend, Jeff Landis. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I wouldn't consider myself a legend. A lot of people do. I don't see why. I'm just me.
You've had an interesting career in Fort Wayne television. You've done everything from singing to a little bit of stand-up, professional wrestling on the independent level and the backyard level. So what has your pending retirement meant to you?
Well, several times before we go into talk about the retirement thing, I went to, past year has been crazy with a lot of people who've been passing away. I want to take this on a serious moment real quick, if that's cool with you.
Yep.
This is your show, this is, but there's been a couple people that passed away. Somebody I went to school with named Antoinette Burwitz. She passed away. I went to New Haven Middle School with her. She passed away this past month. And then somebody I just recently found out passed away that used to volunteer down here at Access Fort Wayne and Channel 10 was Dean Kohlberg. He's done stuff from Milton White's show. He's helped me out, Uncle Ducky. Show goes out to you. It's crazy, man. Like, again, for the past couple of years, man, a lot of people that I've known passed around me. My father's passed away, a couple months ago, but this show goes out to you guys. But talk about my retirement thing. I've been just wanting to try to retire from the game for entertainment for a while, but again, it's hard because, with stuff that happened with my dad, recently, and my plan was to actually, that last show, my 31st year anniversary show was supposed to be a retirement show, but turned to a semi-retirement show. So I try to get out of the game, but again, like I said, it's addicting, man. You've done it before with TV, through school. You've done backyard, pro wrestling, et cetera, and entertainment, and it's a drug. So I'm eventually trying to go away from it, but I just keep getting back. I do have something planned, but how things work.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, part of that retirement plan of yours includes a match.
Yeah, so we know that out of respect, out of me and you, we had our last backyard match. If you don't mind me bringing it up, because some people get sensitive about, oh man, you don't bring my backyard past because in pro wrestling.
I'm out of the game. I don't care if anybody cancels me or buries me for anything.
They shouldn't, because there's a lot of people that started out in backyard that's done independence that we know now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no way you get canceled out. I mean, we've all done it. Heck, Vince McMahon's probably done it back in the day too, but that's a different story. But again, like I said, man, my last match with you was the ladder match. It was great. It was awesome. So I had my final match doing that. And again, because I seen you had the charisma, you had what it takes. I know at first you left because you went to another place and you came back again. You gave me my wish. And that was a good match.
At Death Wish. Yes.
At the event that I created back in the earlier days of the backyard that we were talking about, because I've had matches with Sean Armstrong, BT, The Locust, Unpredictable, Axe came in. Just so many, because Death Wish was like our WrestleMania.
Right.
So, I mean, it was C-Fit, and it was actually October 15th. The days of my anniversaries of my shows. So yeah. I like doing it the day of my anniversary shows, because the show's like, man, what could we do next? So like I said, we're planning on doing a retirement show fully this past year. But again, me, when I'm filming or doing something with Pro Wrestling King, I'm like, when you get in the ring, it's like, okay, you got that one
rush.
You got that one itch. And again, like I said, if you've seen my my independent matches, they weren't the greatest, because again, I was brand new, I was green, I was learning the ropes. Then we learned that I'm going to turn out to be a better referee. But that's a different story. But I'm like, you know what, man? I got to have that one shot in the ring, or at least have my one last match. It may be the sorry for my language, but if you're in pro wrestling, you know this term, shits. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I thought some of my matches, but one I had in the ring with Wild Thing was one of my greatest matches I've had in a wrestling ring. But the other ones weren't my greatest, but I got the crowd into it. The other ones were shits. So I didn't learn that till Bruiser told me what it was. I was like, oh, okay, this is a good thing. He's like, no, it's not. So I want to go out a proper way in the ring. I may die trying doing it, but I won't have my last match with my boys.
Okay.
But I gotta have a certain person's thing because I promised that one person, which is you, that So I don't know what's going on, but
Before we get to that part of it,
yeah.
because we will get to that part of it, Jeff.
Okay, no, I completely understand. This is your show, so.
I want to talk more about your history here in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
Because you are very prideful of being from Fort Wayne and being, as you've coined it, Fort Wayne famous. You get recognized everywhere you go. People are stalking you with pictures. I see it online.
That's a funny story with that.
Tell me what it means to you to be quintessentially the pride and joy of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Again, I hear that a lot from a lot of people. Again, sometimes I have pride in Fort Wayne, sometimes I don't. But again, like I said, it's home is what you make it. Fort Wayne has a lot of history. Again, you guys know me. I like Fort Wayne history. And again, people sit there say I'm an icon. They say I'm Fort Wayne famous. Again, then you get some of your people that say, "Oh, you're delusional and you're just."
I think I've said that about you before.
Yeah, I think so. But but that was all out of character. I think. I hope. But I just don't see it that way. I'm just me being me. I'm doing something I love. Again, I never thought that back in 1994 with me doing shows, I never thought it was going to stick to people. And man, I can tell you some stories. Like I've had I mean, it means a lot, man. Again, I wasn't trying to. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't trying to get out there to go to make myself well known. It just happened.
Yeah. You have one other dream besides the wrestling match that you want to complete before you retired, and you haven't been able to do that yet, through no fault of your own, and not for a lack of trying. Tell the people about that goal.
Talking about the Boys to Men one?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, we all have somebody in life that we want to meet and interview. I'm sure you have somebody that you would love to interview if we had an opportunity. But I don't know, just something I've always connected to their music, and just something about them just connects me to them. So the reason I want to get them on because, I just feel connected to them, none of that, but it would be a good goal to have for. So I've tried for years and years, man. I always got rejected, but I don't understand why. I mean, again, you worked with me when we did the whole celebrity thing.
Yep.
We didn't know how big that was going to turn out. That just happened to blow up.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we were doing the whole TWF thing, some people were in that group were hating and being mean, but now they're all cool. We're all cool still. But I remember when we did the interview with RVD, and then you were there when I said I had a special big interview, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got Boys to Men on?" It was Aaron Carter.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, I don't. It's like, all right, so since we're on getting these famous people on the show, we've had a lot of great famous people that you wouldn't imagine we would ever get.
Yes, we have.
And I was like, you know what? If I show Boys to Men's agent, Danny Trejo, Lita Ford, Aaron Carter, J.T. Nick Roberts, Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette. I wish you were there for that one because I know you wanted to be there for that one.
Yes, I did.
That was definitely one of the classic moments for sure. But I tell you what, when I remember after, because I think you were working that day.
I was.
So Mike messaged me. He's like, "That thing will take you long. Was that all set up?" No, he legit just came in, and of course, in my head, I'm like, "Crap!" I'm like legit marking out. But if I do that, they're like, "Oh no." So, yeah, having stuff like that, celebrity interviews was good. But again, I figured if I showed the agent that, because I don't fan out. I think I don't fan out because it's like we're there to do a job. And we're fortunate to do this because we basically have good friends. One person I just texted the other day was Dan the Beast Severin.
Oh, yeah.
So I texted him, see how he's doing, see how it's going on. I was like, hey, how's everything going? And then he texted me about 12 o'clock at night, and I'm like, well, out of respect, I don't want to, messaged him because he told me good night, and then I texted him the next morning. I was like, I'm working on doing a match with my boys and et cetera, because he knows the boys too from when they used to go with us as well. And yeah, it's like I just like text me anytime. So we've also gained some friends out of it too. And we've had some weird, we've had some awesome people.
Yeah, we've had some weird interviews.
Oh my God.
Do you remember the interview I did with Mickey Knuckles where she licked me?
Yes.
Or Angry Tommy Dreamer?
Yeah, I remember that.
There were definitely some interesting interviews that we've done. There were some really fun ones, like Ricky Morton was a really fun interview that we got to do.
I was like, Mike, you can have that one.
I'm trying to think of who else we got that was just a really fun, energetic interview that we got at Rebel.
Yes.
Rebel was fun. Nick Cutler was always a good interview for us.
You interviewed him twice, I think, or once.
Yeah. I know Wrestling for Warriors for sure, and I think at one of the Heroes and Legends shows too. Tell me about your experience with meeting some of these people that you watched growing up, like Eric Bischoff and Shane Douglas. You got to work in a show with Shane Douglas down in Van Buren, Indiana, and in Coldwater, Michigan. Tell me a little bit about that experience that you've had to work with these people that you grew up idolizing.
So funny you mention that, because I remember, me and Mike are always going to be friends no matter what. I hope so.
Absolutely.
But I remember one time I was watching 1997, this is when WWE had the network. And of course, you know me, with my pride and everything, and I was like, man, it feels weird watching, these wrestlers that we interviewed, like Dan Severn when he made his debut on WWE, and you kind of get what I was saying. So I was like, man, this is kind of cool. But again, like I said, it's, they're just like us. They make a lot more money than we do, and then they go for their goals. But in my head, I'm like, man, because Eric Bischoff was another dream interview.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were there, because you helped me do that one.
Yep.
Because you had 2 questions and I had 2 questions. That one, I was like in my head, I was wanting to mark out, but I didn't because I was a professional. But the Eric Bischoff one was definitely a huge one because Eric Bischoff made a huge impact on the whole life and on the world.
Tell me about a celebrity interaction that maybe didn't go so well. Maybe a bad celebrity interaction.
Oh man, Rebel, because I accidentally repeated myself.
And you didn't know who she was?
Yeah, I felt bad. But then, it happens. Again, like I said, me and Wesley, do you remember Noah Cap from, what was it, Carnival Eats, right? You've heard of him before?
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. Not at all. So, I'm like, all right, just go with the flow with the interview and talk to him. Just get to know him, get to know his show, what he's all about. And in reality, I'm like, I got to know the guy, and then after we got done, it's like, man, you know what you're doing. I was like, I don't need no script. All I got to do is go with the flow with it. So again, with the celebrities, we give them, like today, me and him, we talked about the little basic. Not the whole, like, what we're doing is off script. No script at all. So we go ad lib with things. So it's better to go ad lib because if you go with simple questions, you're going to mess up. And again, when we did these interviews with the celebrities, we had no...
Yeah. It was usually on the fly, run and gun. I want to go back to that question because I was asking it for a very specific reason. Has there ever been a celebrity, Jeff, that maybe wanted to strangle you?
I kind of knew that was coming. So if you remember back in 2002, 3, 2000 something, me and Sean Armstrong did Zero Challenge Wrestling. And I know you're going with this. So, in independence, if you don't have enough money to pay the guys, they're going to be heated and mad. I've worked shows for free lots of times. But we brought in Abyss, because I know you're going with that. Because you and Scott were there, and JJ, my son, did the camera. But anyways, we owed Abyss the money. And I'm not ashamed to admit, hey, you learn from your mistakes. We owed him $200, and then he was mad, upset, which I don't blame him. He's like, you guys go rob a bank. If I have to tear off your necks and crap down your guys' throats, I'm going to do it. So Scotty Crew, one of the wrestlers, paid him $200. And Sky Crew's still mad at me to this day when a lot of the other people forgave me because I didn't pay them because, again, a lot of us work the independents for free sometimes. But again, some people don't understand that. But to go back on that, so we one of our big shows that we just slowly started doing again, because we had that was a big weekend, because we had Heroes and Legends and then Smash Fest. So I'm like, oh my God, Abyss is going to kick my ass around the neighborhood or something. So I was like, all right, why don't I just try to, I got a picture with him. Started out with pictures, like, can we get an interview? So him and Scott were sitting there watching me as I was shaking and full of...
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, so they kept on getting me on about that. So if you want to see that full interview, go to Landis Entertainment Network. It says Abyss and Scott. I got Johnny Tincap on there too, saying that Wayne the Wizard is much better than... You remember that, don't you, Wesley? So
I saw Johnny last night.
But yeah, that was definitely... But I'm glad that I was able to get the interview. Scared as crap, but I got it.
Jeff, if you could promote one show in Fort Wayne, what's your ideal show to promote in Fort Wayne?
Oh my God, it's been forever since I promoted like a wrestling show?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Obviously, I'd have me and the boys on it. I'd have us as the first match because that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna, because there's some promoters out there that like to push themselves out there. A lot of them I used to do it, but not anymore. Like to put themselves as the main event. But I would book me and the boys as the first match because I know it's not going to be the greatest match, but it's going to be something that I want to live for. Definitely have Ryan Paradise on there. Definitely have bring back some stuff from EWF guys like Busta, Justin Fury. Nick Cutler would be another good one, but I think he's retired now, isn't he?
Semi-retired, I think.
Semi-retired. Jake Oman would be another good one. So. Osiris, sorry, not Osiris. Congo Kong would be. There's so many guys I would like to book, but again, like I said, it's just about the pricing and it's all about the money, man. But I would love to promote at least one more show, but.
You know what venue I think would be a really cool venue to do that at would be Parkview Field.
Oh, dude, speaking of that, the last match or just in general?
Just in general.
I did work a Parkview Field show before with Jason when he did the whole Christian thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that or not.
I've seen pictures.
But I did that. But man, Parkview Field would definitely be a good place for it. Especially, I don't know, something about being on a ball diamond would be awesome. But again, they're picky about that. I don't know if you noticed that they're picky about that. But if you go to South Bend and other ones, like you'll see like Jerry's shows, RCW shows, and Brian Costello, you'll see on their shows, man, they'll go right on.
Well, I mean, look at their field and look at our field.
Yes, I mean that does make sense. But Parkview Field would be another good venue. My dream, it's probably the boys right there. My dream one would be the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in the arena.
In the big arena.
In the arena. That would be my... I don't know. If you were to ask me, I'm sure you've heard me talk about this before. My favorite place to tape is the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Not only because of, the Boyz II Men concert, the Monday Night Raws, the Superstars of Wrestling, all that crazy stuff. So the Coliseum is one of my favorite. Not only that, but we've had some famous...
Yeah, I mean, Elvis has played there.
Yes.
So... Comet Hockey, it's iconic to Fort Wayne.
Yes. Fort Wayne Fury.
Well, but and I don't think Fort Wayne gets enough love for that venue.
Not like it used to.
There is so much history in the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Please, I implore anyone watching at home to look up the history of the Allen County War Memorial. If you're a wrestling fan, a music fan, a sports fan, there's so much history. I mean, the Detroit Pistons started playing in Fort Wayne at Northside High School.
Yeah, I remember.
Fort Wayne is such a vast history of entertainment and sports, and a lot of it is rooted right there at the Allen County War Memorial. And so, yes, I agree that would be the ideal venue for any kind of entertainment person that wants to put on a show in Fort Wayne.
Especially if you're born in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, I was...
But there's other venues, too, that are really, really cool.
Grand
like
Wing.
The Grand Wing Convention Center. You've got the Embassy Theater. The Clyde has really climbed up there as one of the elite venues in Fort Wayne right now. I tell you one that I have, and this is a personal thing, but as you know, I manage a hotel in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
I think being able to put one on in my courtyard of my hotel would be really, really cool.
Do you guys have a like a big enough thing for it, or
So
you know what I mean?
in the courtyard we would.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never been. See, I gotta go there one of these days.
Yeah.
I've never been there. If that's okay with you, maybe one of these days I'll check it out. And,
Yeah. Adam Nielsen and I are actually talking about shooting a television show pilot there. So we're working on developing a script and storyboard right now, but we're talking about filming a television pilot right now.
so it's not a wrestling show.
It is not a wrestling show.
You think your boss would allow you to do a wrestling show?
I don't know. We'll talk off camera.
Okay, because you're kind of giving me a idea here. Like I said, man, it's kind of hard because again, we know with doing wrestling shows, man, it's not cheap, especially
No.
for buildings and a wrestling ring. Especially when I want to do just at least one match. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all I'm asking. If I have to do it before, I want to do it before a show. Everyone's like, well, you need a crowd. I was like, no, it just.
Yeah, I think that kind of match is not dependent necessarily on a crowd. But let's get back to that match that you wanted to propose. Because as you mentioned, your last professional wrestling match was against me, and it was a retirement match.
Pedigreed me 3 times.
Off of a ladder.
Yes,
Don't
I
forget.
remember.
Let's talk a little bit about that match and what that match is going to mean to you and your boys before I give any kind of blessing.
Well, the reason why I want to do it so much, again, we're going to have me and the boys on the next show. Of course, I'm going to try to interview them, or if I can get somebody to do an interview. Again, I know you're on borrowed time and certain money I had to give you in order to do this.
Not
But-
a cheap man.
Oh, I know. But I was like, I think it'd be right just to have it to where my kids, I've got boys, so it's like, So I remember when they were younger, we always talked about doing a wrestling match. And back when they were younger, we'd always used to wrestle around and have fun again. Then I got older in Braille where they hit me on one certain spot. I start bleeding. I was like, all right, I'm done. But then you came with me. Well, we've all rode together with me, you, Scott, Justin, Chris, whoever, we all rode together. And it was on the weekends I had the boys. So again, you see how fun the boys were having in the ring. It's like, they liked
Actually,
it.
if you want to count it, their first wrestling match in a ring that had a referee, I was the referee for that match.
Yes, it was Justin, and then Justin got knocked out, and then you came in and ref. And that's funny because the very last part of the wrestling match that we're talking about, that showed on the retirement show, if you watched it fully, I'm not sure if you did because it was long. I tend to put on long shows, but for anniversaries. But again, if you remember at the very end of the show, it was their match. So I'm trying to make things where it makes sense.
Yeah.
So again, that's kind of where.
I did watch that, and it gave me an idea because I know you've wanted my blessing to have this match, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to hand you something. If you want my blessing, Jeff, I think you know what you got to do.
I got to referee my match between me and my boy. Referee the match between my boys and them, and then I get to. Should we talk about it on the next show, or should I just?
I think if you think hard enough, you'll figure it out.
He gave me my referee shirt back from a couple days ago, for when he last referee. Didn't you last referee a match too, or did you actually have a match the last time?
My career has been on a standstill. I've kind of gotten out of the wrestling game for a long time. I haven't done anything in a wrestling ring since December of 2022.
Wow.
I had my last match with our good friend Justin. We wrestled for EHF in a You're Fired match, which I lost.
Oh.
And I've done a couple of one-off spots here and there. I managed for PWK, etc. But effectively, I haven't really done anything in the wrestling space or in the entertainment space in that time.
I'm glad you came back today to do the show, possibly another show in the
Yeah.
future.
So just understand that that's how much this angle means to me. Because I haven't done anything. I haven't been out there. I haven't done stand-up. I haven't done anything in the wrestling space. I haven't done anything musically. I have been kind of off of the radar. So I want you to understand what that is meaning to me.
And again, thank you. And again, I have to put that in consideration. I mean, that is.
But I'll give you some time to think about that, Jeff, because I want to, as we're wrapping and closing down here, I want to give you a chance to talk about why I was the last person you stepped in the ring with.
To be honest with you, you know, again, damn Mike, not you, not you, microphone.
Well, not you.
But to be quite honest, again, like I said, throughout the years, man, you know, I've been doing entertainment for a long time. Not many people can survive doing this because it's not easy. You know this. So as talking to you, and again, like I said, throughout my whole GZWA career, EWF career, back in the before I went to official, you know, EWF, the official Marion one. You know, there was Scott at one time was going to be my next guy. I was going to pass the torch to JJ Juggalo Jr. at the time. He was going to be my next guy. And again, you know how sometimes you have it to where people doesn't show up to shows. Again, you worked with me. Sometimes people's egos got in the way, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I know we talked before about you being the next Jeff Landis, because again, you have the charisma, you were good on the microphone, and you just had the whole package, and that's rare to find. And you had no ego about it, and I was like, man, we should do a ladder match, because you know I love ladder matches. I always will always love ladder matches. Like, you know what, Mike, you're gonna be my last one, because you had the X factor of everything. So that's why I chose you. And it's very hard to give up your spot to somebody else, and you know that. Again, you had your last match with one of your best friends that you grew up with, and that felt good. So
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? Like, in order, because again, when people pass away, sometimes they don't have that option to do it because they either pass away before their time. Like Johnny Dreamer, aka John Adams, he passed away, and I'm sure he wanted to have his last match with somebody. And then my daddy passed away doing something he loved, so that's why I want to do what I'm doing with them.
Okay.
But that's why I passed the torch to you, because you were the next best thing, because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You were able to take that ball and roll with it, and you took that ball, rolled with it. After we finished doing the other stuff that we did, you went to independent wrestling, and you took care of yourself when you did what you need to do. Because again, like my Dark Angel, rest in peace, always told me, you gotta look out for yourself, and you gotta do it your own self. Because again, there's just so much a person can do like there's so much I could do. You're the one that can push yourself, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, Jeff, and I appreciate your honesty and your candor today. I appreciate you graciously allowing me to host this show in your place and call it a dose of Bolin.
No, thank you, man.
And I appreciate you having me on today.
I appreciate you being on. Again, like I said, you know, there's somebody I could say to myself, I can't interview myself. And then again, we work together. You've seen me, my bad days, my good days, and you're the proper person to interview me for this. Again, we weren't planning on doing a show where you interview me, but again.
Hey, if you're going to pay the big bucks, you're going to get the big buck treatment.
Oh, yeah, of course. And again, I appreciate it. Again, I know we're going to be interviewing the boys here soon. I'm going to interview them, or whoever's going to, we'll figure that out. But, yeah, thank you again for your time, man. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy person. Family first, which I completely understand. That's one thing I need to start doing, too. But, again, my kids are becoming teenagers, or becoming adults now. But, again, like I said, you took your time to do this, and, again, you could have told me no.
Absolutely. I can still tell you no.
That's true.
So, Jeff, as just a generalized wrap-up, again, you're Jeff Landis. You want to have a match with your boys.
Yes.
But your fate lies in my hands
Yes, it does.
But
When
really,
what am I going to find out?
the choice is yours.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Guess we have to find out at the next show.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Cliffhanger, huh?
You want to send the people home happy, Jeff?
Stay tuned for the next show where we're going to interview the boys. Either him or I'm going to do it, but we're going to get their side of the story. Everybody's heard my side of the story. Now it's time to hear their side of the story and why they want to do the match. But thank you, Mike, for taking the time out for doing a dose of Bolin. We'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for the second show. Enjoy it. Thank you for Wesley's mom, Deborah, and Wesley for helping out. Thank you, Christina, for helping out with the lights. We're out like a...
We're out like a knockout.